Welcome back to our Barron Spotlight here at Levy's Fine Jewelers in downtown Birmingham. And our guest is Hall of Famer Rollie Fingers. And first thing we should do is say welcome back to Birmingham. This is not your first trip at all, a player, and we'll get into all that. But let's start out. Born in Ohio, but raised in California. Was the 16 and 17-year-old Rollie Fingers, was he focused on baseball? Did he say, hey, one day I want to play pro ball and get to the top?
Yeah, kind of, because my dad played ball. He was in the St. Louis Cardinal organization. Him and Stan Musial were roommates. This is when Stan was a pitcher. So I've been around baseball my whole life, but my dad worked in the steel mills and the coal mines in the Ohio Valley, and he decided one day we're moving to California when I was about 9. So I grew up in California playing baseball. You could play it year-round.
One of the interesting stories, you had a chance to sign with some other teams for more money, but you signed with Kansas City / Oakland. How did that come about?
Well, my mom didn't like the Dodgers. I loved the Dodgers and knew Tommy Lasorda. And the Dodgers had offered me $20,000 after the 1964 American Legion World Series. We had won it in Little Rock, Arkansas, and my dad said no. Said at the time the Dodgers had Koufax, had Drysdale, they had about 15 minor league farms teams, and he thought I'd be buried in the minor leagues. So I turned it down, and Kansas City, a scout from Kansas City, Art Lilly, offered me $13,000. So I signed for the $13,000, gave my dad $3,000, bought my mom a sewing machine, and I bought a '56 Chevy.
But he still owes you $7,000.
I blew that,
Rollie
but
Fingers,
it was fun.
Rollie Fingers, Hall of Famers, our guest here at Levy's Fine Jewelers on our Barron Spotlight. All right, after a good A-ball year, you wound up here in the Magic City of Birmingham. And many people don't know this story. You were, first of all, a starter. They might know that. But your very first start as a Barron almost was your last start. Right. Take me through it.
Yeah, it was the opening night. We were playing Evansville, Indiana, and I think it was the 3rd or 4th inning. A guy hit a line drive back at me and hit me in the face, and shattered my cheekbone, broke my jaw. I was in the hospital for about 9 days. Lost about 25, 30 pounds, had my teeth wired together, and came back from it though. About 2 months later, got back into the rotation. And we ended up winning the Dixie World Series that year in the Southern League. So came back from it okay. Didn't bother me that much, but it was close.
And a starter throughout that year, even when you came back from the injury, and then the following year in Birmingham again. And we consider you, and you are, a Hall of Fame closer, but most of your career going into being a relief pitcher was a starter. Who made the transition? Who was the first guy that said, hey?
Dick Williams was, I was kind of spot starting, and in '71 I was the 4th man in the rotation, and I couldn't get anybody out, and Dick Williams threw me in the bullpen. Really, I was on my way out of baseball, and we were playing the Yankees one day in New York, and we were getting beat like 11-3, and all of a sudden it's the 8th inning, and we're winning 13-11, and I'm the only guy left in the bullpen. He's got to use me or the pitching coach. So he runs me out there, and I pitched 2 innings, got a save. The next night, got another save. We went to Boston, went 3 days in a row, got 3 saves, and he called me in his office. He says, from now on, you're going to be the guy I go to late in the game. And I said, fine. I was happy about that because I was getting guys out and enjoyed doing it.
3 straight World Series, too. The year after you go to the bullpen, 72, 73, 74, World Series champs. Mm-hmm. The neat thing about that, Rollie, most of those guys were your teammates on that 67-68 team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reggie was there that year. Joe Rudy was there. Dave Duncan was my catcher.
Tony La Russa.
Tony La Russa, I believe, was on that ball club. So we had some great ball players playing there, and we all came up through the minor leagues together.
Well, that's what it used to be. You played with, to me, my roots growing up in New York. You were teammates for a long time. You know Reggie Jackson probably as well as anybody. Yeah. He's iconic. The name represents baseball. What can you tell me about Reggie that I don't know?
Oh, golly. Reggie, he was a great guy. I got along with him real well. He stayed with me here in Birmingham for about a month. He couldn't find a place to live, so I had an extra room at my apartment, and so he stayed with me and Joe Rudy until he found a place to live. And He was a great guy. I mean, I never saw a guy when he first came up hit a ball so hard, and from right field he could throw strikes to all the bags on a line. And he had problems catching balls in the outfield, but he turned into a pretty good defensive player. So no, I got along with Reggie real well.
Reggie will also be part of your lore because of this.
Yeah, Reggie started the mustache. He came to spring training in '72 with a mustache and wouldn't shave it off. And so myself and Catfish Hunter, Darrell Knowles, there was about 3 of us decided to grow mustaches. And we figured if we grow them, Dick Williams was our manager, he would say, okay guys, cut it off. And Reggie would have to cut his off. But Charlie Finley, our crazy owner, he thought mustaches was a great idea. And so he told everybody on the ball club, if you make the team opening day, and you got a mustache, you get $300. And that's the only reason why I grew this.
$300.
$300
And it stayed.
And it stayed. Well, it's tough to cut it off after winning the World Series 3 in a row,
Right.
so I kept it.
Do you have pictures of you? Does anybody have pictures? Is there anything, anybody have proof that you actually weren't born and raised with a mustache?
Well, my first 3 or 4 baseball cards in '69, '70, and '71 were no mustache.
Go get those.
So, yeah, those are the old ones.
All right, tell me about your MVP season, 1981. Driving to the ballpark, going to the ballpark, then
Well, it was-
dominating. What was that
It
year
was
like?
fun. You know, that was one of those kind of years where nothing went wrong. I could go out with the bases loaded and give up 3 line drives, and they'd be right at guys. You know, it was one of those magical years, and it was nice playing on that team. You know, we had a all-star team. I mean, at every position. A couple Hall of Famers, Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. Cecil Cooper was there. Ben Ogilvy, Gorman Thomas, Ted Simmons was my catcher. I mean, there were no holes in our lineup. And if I did make a mistake and give up a run with the offense that we had, we always came back. So it was fun playing there.
You also played in San Diego, Southern Cal, and they weren't really good teams, if I remember correctly. But what was your time like in San Diego?
That was fun. You know, like we never got above 3rd place. It was a struggle for us. We never really had great starting pitching. We had pretty good offenses. You know, Dave Winfield, Aaron, Ozzie Smith. But we just never really could put it together. And we were in a division with the Giants and the Dodgers, and they were always winning, and it made it tough on us. But I was there for 4 years, and made a couple all-star teams. But you know, other than that, I was happy to get out of San Diego and go to Milwaukee.